Good morning. It's October 19th, 2008, and I am about to introduce Risa Mallin, who is the former director of the Jewish Arizona Historical Society.
I moved here in 1974, right after I married Bruce, my husband Bruce Mallin, who grew up in Arizona. Bruce's family had moved to Prescott in 1939, and so when Bruce and I got married, it was only a normal thing to come back to come to Arizona. It was a wonderful, wonderful place to move to. I had been president of Hadassah in Denver, and it didn't take very long for me to become active in Hadassah here, as well as many, many other organizations. It was a nice time in the history of Phoenix because everything was new. And everybody had an opportunity, if you wanted to take it, to do anything that you wanted to do. And so it didn't take very long for me to be involved in a lot of different organizations. And I'm a person that says yes.
Which other organizations were you involved in?
Oh, I was active in Israel Bonds, in Young Leadership. We were active in Federation Young Leadership. Bruce and I were presidents of Jewish National Fund, and then they needed a new executive director, and I became the executive director of JNF.
Wow.
So it was a very, very exciting time, and I think anybody that lived here in the 70s had the same things to say. It was a booming time in Phoenix, and it was a good place to raise children, and I quickly had 4 children, and so I was involved, and I taught Hebrew school at Bethel, and I also taught at the Jewish high school, and so I knew a lot of different communities within the Jewish community. In 1982, Bruce and Bruce took a sabbatical in Israel and worked at Hadassah Hospital, and we took all of our children for the summer, and I studied at Yad Vashem.
Oh, wow.
And I took a 1-month course on teaching the Holocaust in an education, in the community setting. And I came back, and the Federation called me, and they said, "We've got this guy, you've got to talk to this guy. He keeps on bugging us, he's a Holocaust survivor." It turns out that this Holocaust survivor was Benjamin Mead, who was founding the United States Holocaust Memorial, but he was bugging the Federation, so they passed him off to me, and I realized that there was a need for the Holocaust survivors to tell their own stories. So I founded the Commission on the Holocaust as a committee of the Community Relations Council of the Federation. And then we started the Holocaust Survivors Association, which is really going strong, even though the Holocaust survivors are quickly dying out. Many second generation, their children are active in continuing the story. So it's something that I was very, very proud of, founding the Holocaust Commission.
Where does this passion come from?
Well, I think because my family in Colorado were pioneers, and my mother was always a storyteller, it's just something that I appreciated. I always cared about Jewish history, and so it was really basically, you know, just a continuation of other things that I had appreciated.
We need to wrap this up, but I do want to ask you one other question.
Okay.
And that is, how would you like to be remembered?
Well, I hope that I'm remembered as somebody who really left the Jewish community better than when I came. I hope that the teaching that I've done has helped people understand the importance of Judaism in their lives, and I hope this Jewish Heritage Center will be a vehicle to help the entire community understand that because it's such a simple little building, that the Jewish community doesn't have to be in a grand building like the Jewish Community Center, that our roots were the simplicity of this building.
I agree. And you are remembered. That's wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.